Wow, it's been a while. You heard from Escape from Jimmy. I know work schedule, commitments and the rest, family, travel. It's been a tough one, but I'll be coming back surely very, very soon. I've recorded quite a number of podcasts, so I'll be releasing them very soon. Back to the crux. A lot of people have been bombarding me with calls, text messages, DMs about what happened with Kwamwan, Value Jet, and what happened yesterday as regards Comfort and Ibome. Let me put clarity to it. Before, I'm going to be putting it from the perspective of someone that's been in the aviation industry for over 25 years. I've worked in the commercial department. I've worked in the operations department. I've tried my hands being a private pilot. So basically, I know what I'm saying. I'm not just coming from a Twitter session where I've been arguing with people. I'm coming from the angle of someone that has been in the sector, someone that knows it from top to bottom. Trust me on that. On the Kwamwan issue, to be honest with you, these things happen. But for me, we need to do a deep dive. The deep dive should be how did they get that water bottle to the side of the aircraft in the first place? Several people need to be held accountable for it. It's happened at the Abuja airport, and I know for a fact that there are several screenings you need to do right from when you get to the airport. So for me, the first screening phase that you get when you're trying to put in your bags and go to the departure lounge, what happened there, and we all know how it is. Except we want to deny it. Once our colleagues at AFSEC see celebrities, you know what happens? They literally just fly through. It's sad, but it shouldn't be that case. Aviation security all over the world is taken really serious, celebrity or not. You need to do your job. No means no from the get go. And the bottle shouldn't have even gotten to the foot of the aircraft. And for me, that takes it to another level. There's another check that is done before the bus that conveys him to the foot of the aircraft. Another check is done. Then the last final check is the one that is done before he mounts the aircraft, and that's where all these goes actually happened. And for me, coming from the view of an operations person, um, I feel bad because basically, if I was to head a committee on this issue, heads would literally roll from the AFSEC up to the foot of the aircraft. I know a lot of people are pointing fingers at the captain and the co-pilot for moving the aircraft. Yes, um, the aviation pilots are meant to be. We are meant to be more cautious in their dealings every day. Apart from that, where I feel the pilot should have erred should have been to just shut the doors, waiting for AFSEC. Kwama would have been removed from the foot of the aircraft. She would have, proceeded on the flight. But I know how it is sometimes. Emotions do run high. And I know how it is sometimes when you're trying to meet up with your on time departure. And considering that we all know the delicate intricacies where we know the owner of ValueJet is an Ijebu man, and I'm sure Wasiu must have been on the phone calling, oh, Egbami, Jen, we're playing, which I totally get. But I feel no man should be above the law. The law is definitely blind to all things. He has made an apology, but for me, I think the investigation should still continue, and a form of recommendation should come into place, and it should definitely help out with such things in the future. About 2 weeks ago, there was a situation on board one of the commercial flights where a passenger hit the bomb of a particular crew. And what the captain did was to tell the passenger to apologize. He refused, and he didn't argue with the passenger. He went to the cockpit, and when he waited for AFSEC on landing on the destination, and the passenger was picked up. I'm sure a lot of people do not even know about this, but these things do happen, and there should be ways where crew members should be safeguarded, that should be kept in such a way where they will not be in the line of fire, literally. That takes me to the case of the E-bomb Air with Comfort. I've seen the different angles of what happened, and for a fact, I'm not happy with the way it was handled. Why, would you ask me? The way it was handled, well, for me, I felt the captain was in the cockpit when this particular lady was assaulting his lead crew. We would call them lead crew or purser. The captain should have stepped in immediately. I'm sure the lady won't in any way would have grabbed. She won't have grabbed the captain. The job of the captain, it's a teamwork. When you're flying, you have your lead crew to make sure the safety on board, everything tallies up, everything is good. I expected the captain to come in and say, no, this is not going to work. It's never going to work. Stop it. I'm going to call AFSEC. You're not going to step down. Even if you let her go, there's no way. I've seen the video, it was at MM2. Even if you let her go, AFSEC would still pick her up because the aircraft was parked at the open bay. If she enters into the bus that takes them to the departure lounge, AFSEC can still pick her up there. What she did was quite unruly and wrong in all levels, but from a perspective of also an operations person, I know when an aircraft lands, the people that receive the aircraft are one, the aircraft engineers, two, an internal security, aircraft airline security, three, a third party security personnel. So basically, when that issue happened, what I expected was once all the passengers are deboarded, they should have informed the internal security, who would have informed AFSEC, and the external security guys who would have, cautioned on the lady. And there are ways you can take her out of the aircraft. I do understand the emotions to get into it. Nigerians, we do like to get things, and try and push it. But for me, I honestly would tell you straight up, there are ways you take unruly passengers out, and there are fines for it. I saw a part of the video where she was trying to get a fire extinguisher. Aircraft parts are not cheap. Definitely, she will be fined. I know someone in the US who was fined about $75,000 for being unruly on a particular flight, and I know these things work. So for me, going forward with the flying public, I would say the cabin crew are there for a reason. Put off your phone. Of course, it won't crash the phone. It won't crash the aircraft. Of course, it's not flying in 2025 is way advanced ahead of that. But you do need to listen to the purser, who is like a representative of the airline. And after that, the phone has been switched off. You remain in the cabin and decided to wreak havoc. If I tell you, if I give you an idea of how much some plastic parts inside the aircraft cost, most people will be like, wow. And I saw her pulling at quite a number of things, which I feel was just totally unnecessary. Even when she was put in the bus, she was still grabbing someone else. For me, I don't think putting her in jail is the right thing. To be honest with you, I think looking at it from a very different perspective. I think she should be mentally checked first, and doctors should be able to ascertain and say, okay, this is why, this is what was wrong with her. She should be tested, and from there, okay, if she's fit and proper, then she can be able to face the law court, or probably, in the words of my good friends, to err is human. Um, I always tell people, aviation is big business with very little profits, and especially in Nigeria where you're paying in naira and they're paying the parts in dollars. So let us get serious as flying publics and respect the system being put in place by several institutions and regulations. And well, I'm still waiting for the investigation for Kwamwan. I will highly respect him. I've been listening to him for years, but the truth is the truth. An investigation must be done, and recommendations must come forward. Anyway, that's it for me. I decided to put it below 10 minutes. I'm wishing you all the very best, and do have a fantastic weekend all. And I hope this addresses some of your questions. Leave a comment down below. Escape with Jimmy. Cheers.